Yacine. We're on this boat, the Conscience, heading off toward Gaza. But in between, you showed me a little video and told me a very interesting story about a gentleman from Bangladesh, of Bangladeshi origin. Can you tell me a little bit about the backstory?
Yeah, sure. Well, Muhammad Ali is an amazing person. You know, he's a credit to Bangladesh. I sailed with 1,000 Madleen fleet from Marseille to Ajaccio, and I met Ali in Ajaccio. We connected immediately. Ali and I, obviously, we have things in common. You know, our Muslim culture. But from a human point of view, I saw a really good person, and he told me his story. Ali is a Bangladeshi living in the UK. He dedicates himself to Tafsir al-Quran in different mosques, but also telling them about the Palestinian cause. And while we were in Ajaccio, he was actually giving Quran classes to young people in the UK. So, well, everybody was working, he was helping, he was doing the cooking, but he was also doing that. But the most amazing thing about Ali is that he managed to raise some funds, and with 3 partners and friends, I know of Adrien, a French guy who's really a very pleasant person, and Baya, a fellow countrywoman, Algerian like me, that unfortunately I have met. They raised enough funds to buy a boat, a sailing boat, and put it at 1,000 Madleen's disposal, which I thought was amazing. You know, I think that's another really good story of the commitment towards the Palestinian cause and break the siege and end this genocide.
And was that one of the boats that we saw yesterday around our vessel?
It was absolutely, and you can imagine how emotional it was for me, because we parted way in Ajaccio while Ali sailed from Ajaccio to Catania. I made my own way to join the Conscience in Otranto, Italy, and then we haven't seen each other since Ajaccio. So it was absolutely amazing to see Ali on one of the boats. I told him that I missed his cooking, particularly his chicken tikka masala, and he was just laughing, and he was really emotional to meet him again.
But you sent me a little video that he sent to you. How did he know about me?
I have actually no idea how he knew about you. You know, we kept in touch through our Signal platform, which is probably the safer way to communicate. And he asked me if you were on board, and I said, yeah, we actually met in Otranto as soon as you arrived from the United Nations and Bangladesh and back to Italy, which I thought was also amazing. I have to say that, Shahidullah, really amazing. And you know, he asked me about you, and I said, it just happens that when you arrived, I met you, and I showed you the camping site where we slept a couple of nights before setting off in the Conscience.
And you bought me a meal.
Well, you know, I think you bought me things, I buy you things. We all brothers in the same mission, really feeling about the Palestinian cause, ending the genocide and breaking the siege. There's one more thing I would like to tell you about Ali, you know, and why you and him are a credit to Bangladesh. He actually, when we were in Ajaccio, 1,000 Madleens wanted a big event and a big presence to the departure day, and me and him went to the 2 different mosques in Ajaccio. We managed to sensibilize the North African community, Muslim community in Ajaccio, and there were about half of the people present at the departure. So it was, you know, it's like a loop closing, and we hope now we're in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, very close to Gaza, and we're hoping to arrive together and break the siege and be able to help our Palestinian brothers and sisters.
That's a wonderful story. Can we just walk across this Conscience while we're doing this, so
sure,
people get a sense of where we are? And
sure. So this is one of the decks where we have the emergency drill. As you can see, there's 92 people on board of this ship, and they all fit here when we have the emergency drill. It's not a boat thought for this kind of trip, because it's normally a ferry trip between one island and the other. It doesn't have as many cabins as passengers, so we're all sleeping on the floor between the seats. This is my friend Charlie. He's one of the crew members doing the drone watch. You know, a very able fireman from Madrid who's been traveling to different catastrophes, and he's one of the professionals on this boat, helping the crew, the passengers of physicians and journalists. Would you like to see other parts of the boat?
Yes, but I would like to also talk about the difference between this boat, this vessel, and the one your friend is in, because this is a large vessel, whereas he's on a very tiny boat. Now, isn't it dangerous to be in the sea with a vessel of that sort?
Well, basically, it's completely different navigation. You know, since I'm an amateur sailor, you know, I actually like sailing on sailing boats, and I started my mission or adventure, call it what you want, from Marseille to Ajaccio on a sailing boat. Conditions are completely different. The sailing boat is smaller, the space is much smaller, and when you're on board those boats, you're obliged to do all the duties. The watches that you take in turn, the cooking that you take in turn, although I'm sure that Ali is doing most of the cooking. Whereas here, we have 82 people, the space is bigger, and I have to say that it's a lot easier and comfortable than being on a sailing boat. Although our conditions are very basic, we're sleeping on the floor next to each other, but on the sailing boat, I think it's a lot more challenging.
Okay, let's go around a little bit, just so people get a sense of where we are and what's happening here.
Okay, so we're lucky.
Yeah.
This is one of the two skippers.
Okay.
This is the Turkish gentleman. He's one of the captain going towards the command center. Would you like to go to the
Yes,
command
let's
center?
do that.
Let's go. He's a pleasant gentleman, and he won't mind us having a look at the command center.
Salam.
Good. Okay, so you see those boats are very well equipped. You have to, apart from the emergency inflating boats on those containers that are enough for all passengers, there's normally 2 motorboats for any other emergency, going to pick up somebody from a boat or bring something from another boat. So we're approaching the command center. Come with me. If you'd like to come, Shahido.
Okay.
Video çekti. Şabi benim video burada çekecekti. Hani kanıt olsun.
There you have the command center,
Herkes tüm pasaportuyla falan çekildi. Hamza abi.
Sorry.
which is really nice.
Sorry, didn't mean to disturb you.
Video
Oh,
halinde
thank you.
o mavi
Thank you.
hızıyla çekilir dediler. Ama
So it's
zaten
fully
o kadar
equipped with
herkes
radar and
tamam,
everything.
bizimkisi kalmış var.
Then maybe you can cut and then we
Yeah.
go to the sleeping area as
Okay.
well.